he looks less. Hold on. He looks less Batman and more like the Flater Mouse and meets Batman well from the Tick.
Well, the DC fanboys have actually been like drooling over that new Bat outfit. They've been sitting there. They've been sitting there looking at this like, oh my god, this, and also explaining the whole thing of the Batman of Batman's armor, which apparently came from Zod.
Doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Which they show Zod's dead body in the movie. I saw the trailer for that as well. As I say, I don't find much of a problem with this Batman. However, people are still talking about how they still have to warm up to what's his name? The guy that played Zuckerberg in that movie about Facebook. What was his name?
Oh, they still got to warm up to Eisenberg.
Yeah.
Jesse
Eisenberg. Yeah.
Has left Luthor.
Yeah, they're still trying to warm up to him being Lex Luthor. In which I say
that's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, people were very much like, I don't know, because he's pretty much typecasted as this socially awkward and guy, slash stoner. Hence, in the movie that he's in another movie that he's in, where he plays a sleeper agent for the CIA.
I didn't see that movie. He's quitting the whale. He was always younger.
No. This was coming out sometime soon. But in this movie, he plays this guy who's a sleeper agent for the CIA.
Okay.
But he smoked so much weed that it kind of fucked with the CIA brainwashing that happened to him. So basically he's pretty much stoned, and even though he's been he's been awakened, he's been unlocked, he's still stoned. So he's too stoned to realize that he's some big wig ass kicking CIA trained assassin. It looks funny. It looks like it might be funny. It has Topher Grace in there from that '70s show.
Oh, Dumbass.
Yeah, Dumbass. He's in there. He's playing the head of the CIA.
I can't buy that either.
It's funny. It's supposed to be a comedy, basically.
Well, speaking of comedies, I did actually
watch World Operations covered up, dumbass.
So, speaking of comedies, I will admit I did watch.
Hey, watch those Kennedy Secrets too.
So, all right, I did watch something that went against everything.
Yeah, that movie. Yeah, yes. Apparently, Amy Schumer is becoming a big deal in the comedy world now. An ex sex addict, professional comedian with her own show on. Aspect of certain people with superpowers. It wasn't all about like fighting crime, saving the day. No, it was all about like heroes trying to live their lives.
That was a show Hayden Panettiere did before she did What's your skin ID for Neutrogena?
Yes.
Oh.
He has a nice chest, just small chest.
Well, speaking of Hayden Panettiere, only problem is how's she going to do. There's only one problem I have with that.
Nashville and all that.
Yeah, Nashville, because she's doing Nashville, of course. And is she going to reprise her role as Claire Bennett?
You know some nice people from
That's a
Nashville.
good question. That's actually a very good question because like.
They should burn that studio Taylor Swift got her career in and pour salt.
Now, before you go on that one, I want to say that Ty here brings up a very good point here about what's her name again? Peyton Pantera playing in 2 shows. Now here's what I'm thinking here.
Take a lot of speed. I don't know.
What they're gonna do is right. They're gonna probably have her like in a special guest appearance from time to time. Like she still does the whole Nashville thing, but like like once in a while they'll put her in the show. Like a cameo type of thing. Like see with Hero, they're bringing him back in there. They're bringing Mohinder. They're bringing some of the old characters. They're bringing some of the old cast back. I haven't seen anything about Silas being in Heroes Reborn.
Well, Zachary Quinto's another story altogether.
Yes, he is.
You also know he's Spock, so...
Yeah.
He's not Spock. I meant the original one. Sorry.
Yeah, but he passed away, so someone has to take the mantle of Spock.
He's still my Spock. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like Zachary Quinto, reprising his role back in the area where he, like, was coming up in the world of acting. That would be interesting. Maybe a guest appearance from that as well. But
maybe more commercials too again.
But I think that see the whole thing about this whole show now when they're coming out Heroes Reborn is they're trying to like make it with some extra newer characters, newer cast, throw in a whole like X-Men-ish type storyline to it, plot to it.
But why not just borrow the whole thing from the Brazilian novella series that I was watching called Pathways of the Heart, which kind of had the heroes like twist to it, but here's the thing. 4 mysteries had to be solved.
Well, that's the thing about this. See, the heroes in here, they're being hunted now. Anyone with special abilities.
Which also reminded me of Los Mutantes. Camino, yeah.
Ow! Don't do that.
Stop. Watchmen and all that. And and when they did the heroes for a while, New Frontier, like during McCarthy era.
Well, it's also.
And don't forget Civil War, Marvel thing.
Yeah,
well, let's not forget New Mutants and Marvel. Remember Wolfsbane and all of them.
Yeah. So see, that's it. That's the thing. See, see, that's the thing. Like, now since Heroes is coming back, they're trying to recapture the old lightning in the bottle that they had before when they first started out. Now, in fairness though, the seasons after the second season, people said was like really crappy. It sucked. It wasn't as good as the other 2, but the reason why was because of the writer's strike. When the writers did the whole writer's strike,
that affected everybody and everything.
Yeah,
the writer's strike was so big, I was actually thinking, man, I would love to go down to California and just bust in and be a scab. I didn't want to get my ass. Question: this Heroes, because I hate to say it, I never got into Heroes. Is this a new version of it? Is it a reboot? Or
it's a new version.
It's a continuation.
Yeah, continuation.
Continuation of the first and second seasons, or
of the 4th season. After all something happened after the 4th season. See, the heroes have been gone for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
The heroes have not been seen or heard from. There have been no reports of any superheroic activities and basically like anyone who did try to bring up any kind of special abilities, we started to become shunned and frowned upon and ostracized and killed even.
Damn.
So it brings a whole prejudice aspect in there.
Can I watch this on Netflix? Can I watch the first 2 seasons on Netflix?
Yeah,
It was just 2 seasons, right?
There were 4.
Oh, it was 4? Okay.
Yeah. You could. I'm sure that Heroes was still on Netflix.
Because I remember back then when that was popular, it was like the 2 shows that were popular at that particular time was Heroes and Lost. And I just got, once I started looking at the DVDs of Lost, I just got so into it that I just started watching and never stopped. Right on to when Lost started, being, going into the next season, to the last season. I watched everything all straight through.
Yeah.
So I didn't get into Heroes because I was too busy with Lost.
That's how I was with Heroes. I watched the first season and just got hooked. Like the whole save the cheerleader, save the world aspect was really like a mystery. Nobody knew what it meant. You had to save. They knew they had to save the cheerleader.
Yeah, but that's kind of sort of how Lost went. Also, makes me wonder if Lost and Heroes were either written by the same writers, or at least made by the same company.
Pretty much, they were both on the same channel.
No, they weren't. No, Heroes NBC.
Yeah, and Lost was ABC. Yeah, my bad.
And wasn't it like, since I'm a noob now, wasn't it like they were like from all over the globe? I mean, like some were like American, some were French. One was like a Japanese guy, and
yeah. It was all like, it wasn't just centered in America. It was all over the world, and like people with extraordinary powers were starting to manifest.
So basically, this what they're doing now, I guess, is because the last couple of seasons basically tanked because of the writer's strike. I guess what they're trying to do now is they're going to, I guess, reboot is the wrong word for it, but they're going to start it again and maybe finish where they left off and tie up all the loose ends for the characters.
Basically, it's like they're saying, okay, we know we fucked up. We're just going to roll with it and keep going. It happened. It was canon. All that shit happened. We're going to do something, but we're going to like continue this. And it's
going to be canon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they're not gonna sit there and just like restart the whole thing over again. They're not gonna
do like a Bobby Ewing and it was just a dream. They're not gonna do that shit.
No. It's gonna be more like I wish it was just a dream.
Oh wait a minute, yeah, Newhart.
Yeah, exactly, Newhart.
Yeah, it was a psychologist. That was actually pretty genius on that.
The days of Bobby Ewing, it was all just a dream.
No, it was also Newhart too, like built up as a psychiatrist.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Show.
Yeah. Now the whole thing is, Heroes, when it aired, became a big thing, especially when they started having cameos from some of the biggest sci-fi people ever. They had Stan Lee in there.
Really?
Yeah, Stan Lee did one or two cameos in there.
What, Heroes?
Yeah.
Wow, he did?
Yeah.
Stan Lee did?
Yeah. Wow. George Takei played a major role in Heroes.
Well, yeah, he would have to be.
He was Hero's dad.
He was Hero's dad.
Hero.
He was Hero's dad.
I was going to say Hiroshi.
Don't forget McCarty. He played McCarty on Adventure Time.
Wait a minute. Hero was a hero?
Yep.
Yeah!
He had the power to stop time, go back in time.
Control
time.
Hero,
awesome.
don't be a hero. Don't be a fool for love.
Oh.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, Hero had the power to manipulate time.
Oh, I would love to have that power.
And teleport.
Ooh, I would love to have that. You know what? I just want all the damn powers.
Well, that was Silas.
Those guys that had
and let me guess, he became a villain because he had all the powers.
Those guys that had a faulty condom wanted to change time too.
Nobody can beat me. I got all the powers.
Well, that's the thing. See, Siler was able to. He had all the powers because he was killing the heroes and taking their powers. He was killing like anyone with special abilities. He was taking their powers